Okay, so look at this. What's going on, everybody? It's Jay here once again, and today we are going to be making another Filipino dish called Afritada. Now, typically this is made with chicken or pork, but today, since it's so versatile, we're going to be making it with fried gluten ball and a big portobello that I got at the store today. So we're gonna show you how to make this completely plant-based, and I'm gonna show you how to do it right now. So come on. So we're gonna start with our prep, and what I got is some garlic cloves. I got about 3 to 5 of them, 5 as you can see here. I'm just gonna smash them, so peel them, and then I'm gonna do a coarse mince. In addition, here I have 1 red onion, which I'm just going to cut, peel, and I'm going to slice as well. Now, you can't have a comfort food dish without some carrots and potatoes, so that's what I'm going to be doing here. I'm just going to peel 1 carrot here, and I'm just going to cut them with a roll cut to get those uniform pieces that I want. And I'm going to do the same with 2 potatoes. So I'm just going to peel them really quick and then cut them in the same way. Now, since this is a mushroom afritada, we gotta have some mushrooms. So this is a big portobello that I got at the grocery store. Now, I've used oyster mushrooms, lion's mane in the past, and all of them work fine and well. You can even use shiitake if you like to. Just use whatever you got. In this case, I have this one. It's big and meaty. I'm just gonna cut it into like 1-inch cubes. And I also got some fried gluten balls. Now, these ones you can get in the dry section at your local Asian grocery. And to prep these, all I'm going to do is poke them with a skewer a few times, just so that the sauce that we're braising in is going to soak in. So now that all of my initial prep is done, I'm just going to heat up a braising pan here with a few tablespoons of oil. And I'm going to heat that up on medium high, and we're going to start our aromatics. So the aromatics here I have are some bay leaf, the garlic, and the onion. And as soon as you put that in and start frying that up, it's going to smell super Filipino in your house. At this point too, I like to also add some whole peppercorns, but since my daughter doesn't like picking through the food for the peppercorns, I'm just gonna add some crushed black pepper. As soon as my aromatics are fragrant and my onions have been sweated out, I'm gonna add my primary component here, which is our portobello mushrooms. Now, of course, at this point, you can use also your favorite chicken or vegan chicken alternative, tofu, whatever you really want to. At this point, we're just going to fry it lightly, and this is where the dish gets its name. Afritada comes from the Spanish word for fritada, which is fried. So I'm just going to fry this for a little bit longer. I'm just going to get some color on this before I start with my braising step. And to do that, I'm going to use about a cup of veggie stock. And in this case, I have this wonderful Korean product called Yondu. This is a liquid umami seasoning, and you really don't need a lot of it, maybe a tablespoon to a cup of water. And I'm just going to add that to my pan as well. Now at this point, I am going to add in the root vegetables. So I got my potatoes and carrots here. I'm just going to add them to the pan and going to mix them through lightly before I add a large can of tomatoes. This is about an 800 ml can of tomatoes. You can use crushed, or you can use like the pureed ones in the bottle if you like, whatever you got. And finally, I'm going to add my fried gluten balls. Of course, they have the holes poked in them, so they're going to soak up all of that liquid as it simmers down. Now at this point, everything is in the pan. I can cover this and let it simmer until our tomatoes break down and everything gets nice and mingly. So a little note on this is with a lot of common everyday Filipino dishes like this one, the seasonings are very basic. So in this case, we have bay leaves and peppercorns. And what we want to do in this case is I'm just going to make the depth a little bit more complex, I guess, by adding some soy sauce. So I got some really good soy sauce here that we got from Amazon, the Japanese soy sauce, as well as some of this vegan fish sauce. Now this vegan fish sauce is made from fermented pineapple and is a lot better than some of the other, vegetarian fish sauces I've seen at the stores. So this is gonna add a little bit of more savoriness, a little bit more complexity, funkiness, of course, which is just gonna give this dish some more interesting flavors going on. Now, typically this dish calls for some peas, and usually I have some frozen peas, but I don't have frozen peas. So I was going to use some spinach, but I didn't have spinach either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these frozen edamame that I found in the freezer, and these will be perfect. So I'm just going to thaw these out, pop them out, and then we're going to add them to our dish at the last part. Okay, so look at this. Our sauce has simmered away, reducing nicely, so I don't have to use a cornstarch slurry. Just gonna grab a spoon, give it a quick taste and see if our seasonings are, yeah. So the last thing I'm just gonna do is add my edamame. It's gonna give us a pop of color that we really need in this dish. Yeah, we're pretty much there. So we'll let that go just for a couple more minutes. And by that time, we'll be ready to plate. Okay, so here we are. We're gonna be plating up now. Typically, I do a voiceover for this kind of stuff with the music and everything, but today, it's gonna be doing it like this. Because I want to experience, like you, everything as it happens. So here is our rice that we're gonna be putting down. Just some like regular, wonderful jasmine rice. And to that, I'm gonna grab my Afritada here. We gotta get a little bit of everything in here, so that's what I'm gonna do. And then now we're just going to put it onto our rice just like this. There. Wonderful. So our sauce has reduced enough that I don't really have to use a cornstarch slurry, which is good because it's all just flavor. It's wonderful. So from here, I raided the fridge and I found my son's chives that he chopped up so beautifully. Yeah, let's take a look at that. See, he has his chives that he did. And I'm going to use those. I'm just going to put them over top just like this. Just to give it some, make it look pretty, as you can see. And that's it. That's all there is to that. So that it is our dish complete. And we are going to eat it. Let's eat.
Hello.
Okay.
It's like a ratatouille.
It's kind of, yeah, I guess it would be kind of like a ratatouille when you think about it. With a bit of Asian influence, but how is it?
Brought me back to the good old kid days when my mom would make me ratatouille when I scraped my knee on my bike.
Right. We have our sabaw, which is the soup, which we're going to mix with our rice. And a big piece of portobello here. I'm going to take a little bite, as you can see here. Ooh. Mmm. So the portobellos offer like a nice meatiness that is very unique to a portobello. I'm going to try to see if I can find any of the gluten. I didn't put enough gluten. I should have put more, but here's a piece right here. So typically what happens when you use the fried gluten balls is that you poke the holes in it, you put it into your sauce or whatever you're going to be braising, and basically they just deflate. And as they deflate, they soak up all of the sauce that you put into your dish. So essentially what you get left with is this kind of protein chunk that has a little bit of texture as well. Is it meaty? I don't know. It's different. But I mean, it offers enough of that textural variety to make any certain dish that you're putting into it interesting. So it's all very good.
Oh, that's too good. Sorry.
Very good. So that is our dish. That is our mushroom afritada. I hope you enjoyed it. Take this recipe, make it yours, and have fun in the kitchen. And please let me know in the comments down below what you'd like to see me make next. Have a good one.